To me, a learning center is a place or an activity that students do to learn certain skills. It doesn't have to be pencil and paper, it can be images, it can be pretty much anything we want it to be.
At first it was difficult because the students weren't used to working independent. They all seemed to want my attention at one point or another, and sometimes at the same time. And there's sometimes showing of impatience and so forth. But eventually they will get the idea that you have to work with one group while another group figures out on their own how to do something.
I've noticed that students, once they are in a center, are left alone to work. As soon as I leave the center, they seem to want to stop working because I'm not right there. Once they get over that initial uncomfortable feeling, they do go back to it, but it takes some getting used to.
I would suggest that you have the center that you want to be independent, work on an activity that they already are very familiar with while you're concentrating on the other group that is just being introduced to a new center. I also would keep the centers to a minimum of, like, say 20 minutes and have them rotate after those 20 minutes to another center.
The very basic things that we do and take for granted, because people from other countries don't necessarily have the same customs that we do or the same culture. Conventions, street signs, how to handle a credit card and money, and writing a grocery list, or very basic things.
We're used to being the center of attention when it comes to students. However, after a while you realize, wow, this is great. I don't have to be the center of attention all the time. That students actually can learn independently on their own, and you become like a sort of like a referee, observer yourself in going from center to center group activities and supporting them. You become more of a supporter in their educational learning process instead of a conductor of it. The centers can be used over and over, and you don't have to change them out every week. You do have clear, simple instructions at the center time, so there won't be any, or perhaps very little, questions for your students.
Flashcards out of images I found on the internet, and I put them on cards and plastified them so they can be reusable.
So just have patience when it comes to centers.